What's up guys, welcome to Poor Man Mods. This is a new car to the channel, probably won't be here long. My friend and I, Brad, actually went halvesies on this car. It was sold to us super cheap. It's a 2010 Kia Forte Coupe, 2.4 liter with 6-speed manual. It was sold to us for dirt cheap because it has a rod knock and the owner didn't want to fix it. So today I'm going to show you guys how to diagnose a rod knock to see if it really is a rod knock and to find out which cylinder it is. Now we already did all this, so we found out where the problem is, but today I'm going to show you the steps that we took on how to find out which cylinder and if it even is a rod knock. So let's get to it. Alright, so apparently this engine is actually notorious for getting knocks in it, and there's a big lawsuit with Kia, but unfortunately we're past the warranty period with this engine. So we're going to have to fix it ourselves, but I'm going to turn the engine on and see if we can hear the knock. It is just a smidge at startup. So there's without a doubt a knock in the engine. So we're going to pull out all the spark plugs and see if we can find where there's slop in one of the rod bearings, and also see which cylinder it is, if it's one or multiple. I'll pull out all the spark plugs because we're going to be turning the engine by hand, and it's going to be a lot easier if you just remove all the plugs so you're not fighting yourself with all the compression. So just get them all out of there. Okay, all the spark plugs are out. Now we're going to see if we can find some slop in one of the rods that are attached to the crankshaft. So what we're going to do, grab the longest extension that you can find. I think this might be an 18-incher. We're going to put this in the cylinder. And the way we're going to find the slop, we're going to rotate the engine by hand. We're going to rotate it clockwise. And when we get to the intake stroke, when it's coming down, if there's any slop in one of the bearings, the piston will stay higher than the rod, and we'll be able to push down on the piston if there's any slop. And then also you can hit it with a rubber mallet and you'll be able to hear the piston going down and hitting the rod. So we're going to start off with cylinder 1 and see if we can find if there's any slop in any of the rod bearings. For this particular engine, we're going to be using a 22mm socket and just a 1/2-inch ratchet to rotate the engine. With all the spark plugs out, it's going to be pretty easy to do this. Make sure it's in neutral when you do this, otherwise it won't turn. Get the extension all the way down in there. Now, rotate the engine. Right now it's going up, and then when it starts to pull down, like that, if we push down on this extension here while it's going down, if there's any slop, the extension will move and you can see it and feel it. Nothing happened there. We'll go to cylinder 2. Nothing. Sturdy like it should be. We'll go to cylinder 3. This is where our rod knock is. We'll just do a full rotation on this one. Alright, now pay very close attention. When I push down on this extension, it should move a little bit. Yep. It's very hard to see, but we did get about a 1/16 of an inch of movement out of that, which there should be none. Absolutely none. Ready? Yeah, it's very slight. Now, probably really hard to see, but I'll pull it down a little further and we'll hit it with a rubber mallet and we'll be able to hear it. Now you don't need to go crazy with this, but if you listen closely, you'll hear metal to metal contact. See how different that sounded? And that was the metal to metal contact sound. It sounds different than that. So we found that there's some slop in cylinder 3. So now we have to see if we can fix cylinder 3. So we're going to take this oil pan off and see if we can fix the bearing or see if the crank needs machined. So yeah. Alright, there you go. That's probably the easiest and quickest way to diagnose a rod knock and to find out where it is. In our case, it's cylinder 3. It might be hard to see on camera, but there is just a very slight amount of movement in that extension on cylinder 3 when you push it down, and that's showing the slop in the bearing. And it's probably hard to pick up on the mic, but there is an audible difference in the noise when you hit it with a rubber mallet, and that also shows the slop in the bearing. So now that you know if you have a rod knock or not, it's time to fix it. So we're gonna see if we can pull the oil pan off of this and replace the bearing, or see if the crank needs work or whatever. So hope this video helped you out. Hope you learned something, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.